I'm Brendan Tierney in London. Coming up, we'll have the latest on a terrorist attack this morning on the Tube and the safety of over 200 Syracuse students who are studying abroad in London.
And here on campus, how Trump administration changes to campus sexual assault rules will impact students.
CitrusTV's Sabrina Maggiore spoke with university officials.
Process, the university has an obligation.
Our top story comes from London tonight, where officials have just arrested a suspect who allegedly detonated a bomb in a subway car this morning. Good evening, I'm Josh Rosenblatt.
And I'm Rebekah Castor. Police say a bomb went off just after 8 a.m. local time in a subway car at the Parsons Green Tube station in southwest London. Officials are treating the incident as a terror attack. This is the 5th terror attack in 6 months in Great Britain.
At least 22 people were injured, with many suffering severe burns. Several people were also pushed and trampled as passengers evacuated the station. Officials say no one is facing life-threatening injuries.
We are joined now with CitrusTV reporter Brendan Tierney, who is in central London tonight. Brendan, what's the atmosphere like in London right now?
Yeah, guys, right now in London, it's definitely tense. You can see a visible police presence across all the tube stations as well as on the sidewalks. The interesting thing with London is about 90% of the cops are not armed, which you've been seeing today, a lot more armed officers out on the streets. That 10% that are trained to use guns have been out, and you can see the police presence after the attack earlier this morning.
And what was SU London's response to the incident?
Yeah, so SU London was right on top of it. About 8 o'clock, 8:20 is when the incident occurred at first on the tube. 9 o'clock, so not that far after, as soon as information started coming out and the police responded, is when we got our first email from SU London. About 5 minutes later from that, we got a second one with more information, but it wasn't until about 11 o'clock when it was declared a terrorism incident that Syracuse imposed their mandatory check-in that is required for all students. So all 204 students, Syracuse and other visiting institutions at the Faraday House here in London are accounted for and safe after the attack.
Thanks, Brendan, for keeping us updated. It was so great seeing you. Enjoy the rest of your semester abroad.
Earlier this month, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos announced plans to roll back Title IX guidelines. I talked to university officials about how this will impact students here. Despite changes in Washington, Syracuse University officials say the Title IX policy will remain the same. Title IX, a federal law enacted in 1972, requires universities to take action and end sexual violence on campuses. Based on the legislation,
A student has the right to a fair process. The university has an obligation to promptly respond and deter behavior once we become aware of it. The process also ensures that an individual has the opportunity to decide what they'd like to see happen.
in 2011, President Obama released a letter that provided further guidance on Title IX. Under the mandate, a preponderance of evidence is used as a baseline to make judgments in cases of sexual assault.
The preponderance of evidence standard is a standard that is more likely than not. So in essence, it's a lower threshold, and it really is one that looks at the plausibility of the situation.
Education Secretary Betsy DeVos intends to change this standard, but according to university officials, this won't affect SU.
So now, with talk of rescinding the Dear Colleague letter of 2011, it actually doesn't alleviate the legislation itself.
So whether or not she decides to change that, we would still maintain our policy, first of all, and we would still need to operate under New York state law.
So while Washington may be making changes, officials say
that on our campus, we take these things very seriously. And our first priority is to make sure that our students feel safe and comfortable on campus.
Reporting for CitrusTV, I'm Sabrina Maggiore. Back to you guys.
Applications to be on the homecoming court are due Sunday at midnight. Undergraduates graduating this year are eligible and can be self-nominated or nominated by a community member. The contestants with the most online votes by students will be crowned king and queen at Orange Central next month. The 12th Coming Back Together weekend is underway. The annual reunion celebrates SU's African American and Latino alumni. The Chancellor's 5K walk and roll took place this morning, and money raised went towards scholarships for minority students. Tonight, Grammy Award-winning artist Lala Hathaway is performing in Goldstein Auditorium. Tickets are $10 for students and can be found at the Shine box office.
Tonight, students and members of the community are packing the Carrier Dome for Worship the King. This student-led event is an evening full of worship music and testimonies led by Jesus Culture's Derek Johnson. Organizers are expecting more than 4,000 people to attend. This event is free and open to the public, and performances begin at 7. DPS announced today in an email to students and faculty that investigations into a number of off-campus burglaries are underway. Suspects are reported to have entered homes through unlocked windows and doors.
Despite changes in Washington, Syracuse University officials say the Title IX policy will remain the same. Title IX, a federal law enacted in 1972, requires universities to take action and end sexual violence on campuses based on the legislation.
Toss the juice jam.
Yeah.
Toss the juice jam.
So the I-Team's first package of the year is going on tonight, and Juice Jam. Where does the money go? How are they funded? The CitrusTV I-Team took an in-depth look at this story. It was the headline that nobody from University Union, or the entire school for that matter, wanted. Fetty Flop. Rapper and headliner Fetty Wap failed to show up for his performance at last year's Juice Jam, as did rapper Vic Mensa for his concert at last spring's Mayfest. Despite this, several students like senior Natalie Goldstein say it won't stop them from attending this year's events.
Things always happen, and it's not the school's fault. It just was a miscommunication error, and I don't think that should deter people from going this year.
Every student organization on campus, including University Union, receives their money from the Student Association. James Franco, the president of the Student Association, says the key to financing all of the different groups on campus is finding a balance.
Honestly, it's a collaborative effort to make sure that you can put on the events that students are excited about every year, while also making sure that we're financially secure so that other organizations can receive funding as well.
The PR chair for University Union, Keely Higgins, says that when acts cancel, the money is refunded back to the Student Association. But what does SA do with that money? Franco says that the finance board of SA has the final decision, but ultimately, it's a give and take between the Student Association and UU.
Obviously, there are going to be differing viewpoints on this because the finance board has to think about all the organizations in general, while UU, as it should, is looking to put on the best events for students, so they're looking to maintain that money if an event canceled to put on another better act or another great act this semester or later this year.
For students looking to get reimbursed for the money they spent, both Franco and Higgins have bad news. They say it is almost logistically impossible to be able to refund students. Therefore, it's more likely you'll actually bleed orange before you see any of that green. Reporting for the CitrusTV I-Team, I'm Josh Rosenblatt. You know, this is the first Juice Jam in over 4 years not to sell out, but for those that did attend, headliner Diplo and other acts put on a great show.
It's been feeling a lot like summer here in Syracuse, but will the warm weather continue? David Edelstein is here with your forecast.
That's right, Rebekah. Just an absolutely gorgeous day today. Summer-like still in September. A beautiful shot of the campus, the Carrier Dome, the promenade. Everything is looking great today. But as we take a look at what's going on right now, currently 76 degrees. There is a slight breeze, and that fog is going to be moving in towards the night, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. Currently in the area, about the high 70s. The high is in Elmira at 78 degrees, Rochester 76, Syracuse 76, just across the board. As we're taking a look at our radar, we see a little bit of cloud cover, some green spots, but that's just some drizzle. Moving on, we'll take a look at that later in the broadcast.
Coming up after the break, Hurricane Irma may have passed, but it left a different type of storm behind.
And find out how North Korea left millions of Japanese on high alert this morning. Stay tuned.
You're When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
You go and step out of the vehicle for me?
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
We have breaking news here at Citrus TV. A federal judge has just ruled that Attorney General Jeff Sessions cannot withhold federal grant money to sanctuary cities, such as Syracuse. Sessions threatened to do this if cities refused to report any undocumented immigrants in jails or didn't allow immigration agents into jails. Chicago filed a lawsuit against the Justice Department last month for the move, sparking the temporary injunction.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is in the U.S. Virgin Islands today. The island's governor asked Cuomo to help assess the damage caused by Hurricane Irma. Cuomo says he wants to understand the full scope of Irma's destruction and to know what help the storm victims need. Several members of the New York National Guard have already been deployed to the territory.
And Cuomo has a big job ahead of him. More than 1 million people in the Caribbean are recovering from the damage caused by Irma. The Category 5 storm reached record wind speeds and created massive storm surge, killing 44 people. This video of St. Martin shows that entire towns were destroyed. Several European countries have sent troops and aid packages to rebuild the region.
Japan is on high alert after millions were jolted awake this morning following another missile launch from North Korea. The missile flew over northern Japan before landing in the Pacific. The test comes just days after the UN Security Council slapped North Korea with more sanctions for allegedly exploding a hydrogen bomb a couple weeks ago. Experts say the sanctions will probably not be enough to stop future missile tests by North Korea. The Security Council is set to meet tonight for an emergency meeting.
South Korea had their own response to the missile test. In a show of strength, the neighboring country launched 2 test missiles today. One failed and another landed off Japan's eastern coast.
Moving to South America, tensions are rising in Guatemala. Citizens are protesting following the country's decision to scale back its anti-corruption campaign. The proposed legislation would gut campaign finance rules and allow many criminals serving short sentences to walk free. The bill was swiftly passed Wednesday night, sparking protests. In response, the country's constitutional court has momentarily suspended the legislation.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Enjoying a very warm and sunny day, but will it last for the weekend?
David Edelstein is in the studio with more on weather.
Thanks again, Rebekah and Josh. As we're taking a look a second ago at our radar, Syracuse right here on the map. Not much to worry about there, but when you're waking up tomorrow, no, it's going to be sunny, but 63 degrees at 9 a.m. But if you wake up anywhere before that, 5 to 8 a.m., there will be a lot of fog. Actually, visibility will be reduced so much, down to 3 miles, that you just have to be careful when you're going out, walking, driving, worry about the fog. But that will go away by midday. As we're looking tomorrow, the high for game day is 82, low at 57. It is going to be another humid day, just like today, so be prepared with any clothing that will help you through that. As we're looking throughout the day tomorrow, though, 70 at 9 a.m., 3 p.m. by kickoff for the game at 3:30, 81 degrees, and 7 p.m., 76, humid, but there will be a calm breeze. As we're taking a look at our graph, we see wind speeds just going to be calm, beautiful days, breezy winds, nice to just relax outside, nothing to worry about. And as you take a look at our 5-day forecast, you can see game day tomorrow. Otto is excited, 82 degrees, and that's going to be throughout the week. Some clouds will move in and out, but that should not at all be a problem. Our lows are pretty high for September as summer is still sticking around. Fall will move in, but not just yet.
So David, you were talking about this fog. You know, it's kind of making me nervous when I'm driving my car early in the morning. So when can we expect this fog to move out?
Definitely around 8 a.m. It's going to move in tonight, but it should be really here while people are sleeping. So nothing really to worry about. Tomorrow's a nice Saturday. Get here for the game. Just be careful if you are going out before 8 a.m.
So no fog, but is it going to be cloudy afterwards?
There will be some clouds in and out, just a typical day. I mean, sun is going to be shining through, so there's nothing to worry about there. No rain in the forecast, so we're fine with any kind of cloud cover. There is just some shade.
Thank you so much, David.
Coming up, find out why former Google employees are suing the company.
And NASA's 13-year Saturn mission finally ends. Stay tuned for the results.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Facebook is removing a feature that helps advertisers target users who describe themselves as anti-Semitic. A ProPublica report found that Facebook allows advertisers to target users based on what they enter in the education or employment field of their profile. Companies were using categories like Jew hater to target ads. Facebook says all the anti-Semitic categories were removed. 3 former Google employees are suing the company for what they feel is systemic pay discrimination. The 3 women are accusing Google of paying female employees less than men, assigning them lower-paying jobs, and promoting them less often. The lawsuit was filed yesterday, and a Google spokesperson says the company disagrees with the statements.
Researchers have found a new use for NASA satellites to predict outbreaks of malaria. Researchers say they'll be able to detect outbreaks 12 weeks in advance by observing soil moisture. Their goal is to give nets and bug sprays to the at-risk households. Further out in space, NASA's 13-year Saturn mission ended this morning after their spacecraft Cassini dove into the upper atmosphere of Saturn. Cassini was the closest to Saturn that a spaceship has ever been. NASA says the spaceship provided the first taste of Saturn's atmosphere.
The Angry Bird franchise may be worth $1 billion soon. The company will start trading on NASDAQ at the end of the month. Increasing its value, the gaming app has expanded its franchise with Angry Birds toys, clothes, and even a 3D movie. And some sad news today for fans of pop star Fergie and actor Josh Duhamel. The couple has announced they are separating after 8 years of marriage. The two decided to split earlier this year, but wanted to keep it private. Fergie and Duhamel also have a 4-year-old son named Axel.
Syracuse football faces a familiar foe at the Carrier Dome. The men's soccer team opens home ACC play, and field hockey looks to stay perfect. CitrusTV News live at 6. We'll be right back.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back to sports. I'm Christian de Guzman. The Syracuse football team needs a rebound performance tomorrow. Central Michigan comes to the Dome looking to do what Middle Tennessee State did last week, upset the Orange. The Chippewas almost did just that last time they were in Central New York. In 2015, CMU took Syracuse to overtime, but the Orange prevailed 30-27 thanks to a Jordan Fredericks touchdown. Also in that previous meeting, Eric Dungy left the game with an upper body injury after a hard hit to his helmet in the second quarter. This week, according to Dungy and Ishmael, is all about the right mindset.
Each and every one of us have the same mentality, and that's to win. You know, so we're not settling for anything less. So, you know, I feel like that's the mentality, and everybody's just running away with it. And I feel like as long as we continue to grow on that, even if we lose, we're going to be good.
They're strong, and they're coming from the MAC, so they got something to prove. I got all the respect for them. You know, our first time we played them as well. I mean, they're going to be a good team. So people see that Central Michigan, and they don't think that, but I mean, I know that they're a good team. So.
Ishmael and Dungy look to link up this game. The wide receiver has yet to score this season. Tomorrow's game starts at 3:30, and you can catch Orange Press Pass on OTN tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Adam Unger, Matthew Weasels there, and I will have a full recap of Syracuse versus Central Michigan. The Syracuse women's volleyball team travels to Long Island this weekend. The Orange play in the Hofstra A6 Invitational in Hempstead, New York. Syracuse has been up and down this year, going 6-4 through its first 10 games. The Orange played Bryan today, and that match just finished with Bryan winning 3-2. Syracuse completes play tomorrow with a doubleheader against Binghamton and Hofstra. To the pitch, where the Syracuse men's soccer team looks to right the ship against Louisville tonight. Ian McIntyre's squad hasn't been particularly impressive this season. Although the Orange have a 4-0-2 record, they have allowed a goal in every match. Syracuse looks for revenge against the Cardinals. The Orange lost 1-0 in Louisville last season. Syracuse gets sophomore striker Johannes Peels back. He missed last match due to a red card. Game time is set for 7 p.m. And moving to the best team in campus, the third-ranked Syracuse field hockey team aims to stay perfect tomorrow. Number 16 Wake Forest comes to J.S. Coyne Stadium to face off against the red-hot Orange squad. SU is the only team left in the NCAA who have yet to allow a goal this season. 3 of SU's shutouts have come against ranked opponents. A key factor in the defense has been junior back Rose Wares. She earned ACC Defensive Player of the Week honors with 2 goals last weekend. And game time tomorrow is bright and early at 11 a.m. And we go to the Diamond as the New York teams play tonight in two drastically different games. The men are in Atlanta to take on the Braves. New York is officially out of the playoffs with last night's loss to the Cubs. As for the Bronx Bombers, they continued their 4-game set against the Orioles tonight. The Yankees crushed Baltimore yesterday 13-5, a game that saw Aaron Judge hit his AL-leading 42nd and 43rd home runs of the season. The Yankees are still searching for the AL East crown. They sit 3 games behind the Red Sox. Baltimore is also 5.5 games behind the Twins for the second AL wild card. The Yankees start at 7 p.m. while the Mets start at 7:30 p.m. And finally, former Syracuse basketball star Carmelo Anthony is once again part of a viral hit. Twitter user Robert Gordon posted pictures on his timeline of a Hoodie Melo jersey. His post instantly became a hit with over 4,000 likes and counting. This post is in reference to a viral trend over this summer. Anthony was pictured in multiple off-season workouts in a hoodie, and fans categorized the post as Hoodie Melo. And Josh, I know you love Hoodie Melo.
I'm a big fan, Christian Guzman. What do you think? Are you jumping on the bandwagon? I hear your 2K rating goes up by 20 at least.
At least. I know that they gave Hoodie Melo a 90 rating when they gave regular Carmelo Anthony an 84. I might have to get me one of these jerseys. They look pretty good.
So going back to football, what are your predictions for the Central Michigan game tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be a tough game for Syracuse. If the secondary can stay strong, I think Syracuse has a chance. But since there's a lot of questions in the secondary, especially in the defensive backs and cornerbacks, I could actually very easily see Central Michigan winning tomorrow.
Thanks, Christian. Citrus TV will be right back.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
David Edelstein is back here with us. So David, what will the weather be like for the big game tomorrow?
Well, the game tomorrow should be summer-like. Listen, the game is indoors, so nothing to worry about during the game as far as rain goes, but there's no reason to worry about rain outside of the Carrier Dome either. It's going to be a beautiful day, a little bit of breeze. Really nice to be outside.
And David, you know, I'm a big fan of fall. I love my pumpkin spice lattes, the feeling of a nice sweater. How many more of these summer days are we gonna have?
Well, I don't have any kind of groundhog to tell me when fall is on its way, but I can tell you that summer is gonna stick around for about another week, and probably a little bit more will transition into fall.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at CitrusTV.
Find details for these stories and more on CitrusTV.com. For Citrus TV, I'm Josh Rosenblatt.
And I'm Rebekah Castor. Have a great night, Syracuse.